Right, for more on Nigeria's parliamentary journey so far, we have the governor of Kaduna State, Sani, who is joining us live via Zoom. Thank you for joining us, Your Excellency.
Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about the principle of separation of powers. You've been a parliamentarian, now you are now occupying the executive seat. In the last 25 years, how would you describe the separation of power in the country?
Thank you very much, my brother. I think as someone who have an experience both as a former legislature as well as now in the executive arm of the government, I can say that the Fourth Republic, which we are experiencing at this critical time, which is a presidential system of government, is the best system of government as far as I'm concerned. And of course, I can say that at least we are now experiencing about 24 years of uninterrupted civilian democratic government in the history of Nigeria, which for me is something that we all have to continue to build on some of the successes we've achieved in the last 24 years. Of course, I also believe that Nigeria is work in progress. There are a lot of things that needs to be looked into. We need to make a lot of effort to improve certain things. Democracy, as you are aware, is a system that needs improvement almost on a daily basis. And of course, the National Assembly, that's the legislature, have a very critical role to play in entrenching democracy in the country, as well as ensuring that there's check and balance. And of course, judiciary also, as one of the most important arm of the government, have to also step up and do what is right, because as far as I'm concerned, democracy is a system of government where people have to be given what is due to them in terms of not only about development, but the fundamental human rights. People have a right to certain things that are basic, and that can only happen in a democratic setting. But of course, in a democratic setting, if there's no check and balance, there will be abuses also. So what I can say here is that stakeholders must all come together, the journalists, the workers, the civil rights movement, the politicians must come together to entrench democracy.
Mr. Governor, a lot of people will agree with you that democracy is actually the best form of government, but where the disagreement is how we practice it. Some have said that we should go back to the parliamentary system of government that we had before. Others are saying we should stay with our presidential system of government. Where do you lie in that conversation?
And I think if you ask me sincerely, I can tell you that we know what happened. We knew what happened during the parliamentary system as well as the regional settings. And you will agree with me that even at that time, there were a lot of abuses. A lot of people created unnecessary competitions. And of course, that hasn't also taken us to the promised land. So for me, what are we talking about? Most of us agitated for the true federalism. As someone who fought for the internal democracy in Nigeria within the civil rights movement, I can tell you what I believe in is certainly ensuring that we have more powers at the grassroots level. I mean, the local government autonomy is a welcome idea. Devolution of power is also very important. So that is for me, but that can only be achieved through presidential system government. A lot of people are talking about parliamentary system government, but I can tell you that we have not exhausted the parliament, particularly the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Reps, must step up. That is the most important thing. Judiciary must also have to do what they need to do. Because if you ask me, a lot of people are complaining about the current situation in the country when people cannot get justice. A lot of people have approached judiciary maybe because of their standing in the society. Nobody listened to them, and a lot of people have been complaining about the situation on ground. So for me, a lot of people have their own position, but as someone who was in the National Assembly, who also fought for the democracy, in terms of democracy in Nigeria, I will tell you clearly that I believe we need to exhaust this very system. I know where we're coming from. We know the experience of the First Republic. We know what happened in the First Republic. We know actually what happened in the Second Republic. We know what happened in the Third Republic when we had a system where half system was military and half was a civil rule. Now we have Fourth Republic. So I think we have experiences, but let's not rush into conclusion. That's my position.